Within days of joining the Oval, President Trump has shocked the world by issuing an order banning all foreign aid, including crucial funds that help millions around the world in their fight against HIV. In this video, I'll break down everything you need to know about PEPFAR, this decision, and how it left 20 million HIV-infected people abandoned, possibly leading to another global health epidemic. Let's start with the executive order first. In late January, President Donald Trump signed an order stating all its foreign aid is being suspended for 90 days. This includes PEPFAR, the program that provides life-saving HIV medication and support to developing countries. The US spends about $40 billion annually on foreign aid, and the Trump administration argues that it's time to review every dollar to prioritize America first. But here's the problem. PEPFAR isn't just another aid program. It is a lifeline for millions. And now, its funding has been cut without warning, causing many healthcare workers to lose their jobs. This raises worries about a possible increase in HIV cases, similar to what happened in the early days of the HIV epidemic that took thousands of lives in a matter of weeks. Curiously enough, it was actually the PEPFAR program that worked massively to overcome that epidemic. In fact, it created history. But before I get into that, just a quick review about the program first. PEPFAR, or the US President's Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief, is a global health funding program launched by President George W. Bush in 2003. Its goal was to lower global HIV rates by 2030 by supporting countries without the resources to fight this disease. According to the US Department of State, PEPFAR has invested $110 billion in the last 2 decades preventing millions of HIV infections. If you look at this map, you can see PEPFAR has been helping over 50 countries all over the world. In fact, South Africa is one of the biggest recipients of PEPFAR aid, receiving $332 million in 2024. Other prominent countries include Botswana, Ethiopia, Kenya, Mozambique, Nigeria, Rwanda, Uganda, etc. The impact is most significant in sub-Saharan Africa, where the HIV rates are highest, like Eswatini for 25%, Lesotho for 18%, South Africa for 17%. But incidentally, you will also see some of the biggest achievements of PEPFAR in these countries, like Botswana used to have a HIV rate of 26%, but ever since PEPFAR was introduced, the rate has drastically reduced to 16%. Same in Zimbabwe's case, which saw a dip from 22.9% to 10.5%. The results speak for themselves. According to a study published in International Journal of Maternal Child Health and AIDS, this program has successfully reduced HIV infection rates in 12 sub-Saharan African countries. In fact, the US has actually been incredibly proud of it, given PEPFAR is the most successful US aid program ever. It is credited with saving over 26 million lives since its launch, including 7.8 million babies who were born HIV-free thanks to the treatment. Many governments and US itself used to present PEPFAR as the ideal model, saying this is how an aid program should look like. By last December 2024, it was actively subsidizing antiretroviral treatment for 20.6 million people. And now, these 20 million people are abandoned. On 27th January 2025, USAID sent this notice to all its sponsored health centers to stop current work immediately. This means people lost access to treatment overnight without warning, including 7,000 plus children aged less than 15. It's like a critically ill person walking into a clinic and being told, "Sorry, we can't give you your medication anymore, you're on your own now." That is the reality for millions. To make matter worse, AMFAR, the Foundation for AIDS Research, estimates that if the suspension actually continues for 90 days, an estimated 135,000 babies could be born with HIV, eventually progressing towards AIDS. If you want to know more on HIV and pregnancy, I've explained about it in this video. Just imagine a baby will have to survive with a compromised immune system just because of a political order. Not to mention, healthcare workers are also suffering. PEPFAR employs over 190,000 professionals, many earning just $3,000 a year. Without funding, they are being laid off or suspended. Anonymous reports confirm that many are already out of work. To sum it all, the situation couldn't get more grim. But where do we stand now? Well, State Secretary Mark Rubio technically did issue a waiver saying core life-saving assistance, including medicine, medical services, food and shelter, would be exempt from the aid freeze. But here's a catch. No one knows if HIV funding falls under this exemption. There has been no clarification, leaving organizations in the dark. If this uncertainty continued for the said 90-day review period, the long-term impact would be horrific. The progress made over the years could be at risk, potentially leading to a rise in global HIV cases. The only sign of hope right now is number one, Trump administration issues clarification and resumes operation until there is a clear plan of action, which right now seems unlikely. And secondly, PEPFAR is due for renewal in March, which falls under the 90-day review period, so maybe we might get some good news there. Until then, millions of lives hang in balance. Now, what about the arguments for people who are in favor of the ban? I know that many of you are raising some valid points. Like, number one, a lot of the aid funds were being embezzled by corrupt foreign governments. It has been investigated repeatedly, with complete reports being published. Thus, Trump accused US aid of being a fraud and took an extreme measure of banning all funds altogether until further notice. According to these claims, the aid wasn't even going to the actual people in need. Another popular argument is, why should US carry the developing countries' burden? It should focus on its own needs, and other nations should pull their own weight. But with all that said and done, I ask you this: even if there are true rumors of corruption, since it's common in these countries, is that still a good reason to stop helping millions of people who need it? In reality, the rate is nowhere near claimed 70%, but just 2.5% of the total funds that are being misused. This has already been established that these impoverished nations don't have access to neither the medication nor the money to improve their healthcare systems. And corruption or not, we have seen positive results out of PEPFAR, proving it has been extremely effective in bringing down the global HIV rate. To tell you the truth, I actually support these investigations into funds misuse because, yes, let's identify the weaknesses in the system to figure out how we can improve it. But a total ban is not a solution, especially when people can die without access to antiretroviral treatments. Maybe a better alternative is to empower the country's healthcare sector and manpower, so they're capable of running these systems themselves. Train them, educate them, help them manufacturing the medication, and work alongside the governments. Because, in its true essence, PEPFAR was never meant to be political. It has always been a humanitarian mission, and that's how it should be treated. Let's be clear, what's happening right now, this isn't just politics anymore. This is about millions of lives. The fight against HIV is not over yet, but decisions like this can undo everything we have achieved. Remember, numbers or policies matter less. People come first, and every single life is worth fighting for. That's it for today, guys. Thank you for watching. If you agree or disagree with this ban, let me know why in the comments. Also, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Until next time, stay safe, folks.